Good afternoon, Faith Gospel Church and friends of Faith Gospel Church. This is Pastor David coming to you on a beautiful Tuesday afternoon. It is a wonderful day. The sun is shining, the birds are singing, and it is just a glorious day that God's given us. It's been a wonderful morning here so far. We were able to deliver 125 meals into our community. And thank you so much for those of you that came up last night. Monday evening, we had a lot of folks here making preparations for that to make this day possible. And then this morning, about 9 a.m., we had several folks come in. They started to cook and bag food up, and then we had those that were out making deliveries. And thank you so much for doing that. Such an honor and such a privilege to serve alongside you here at Faith Gospel. And those that couldn't be here were praying, and thank you for your prayers, because without prayer, without God's power, we can do nothing. And so thank you if you were praying for us today. We really appreciate it. But it is Tuesday, and we have two thoughts for Tuesday once again. And today we are going to focus on and look at your focus. What are you focused on? Where's your mind at today? Because in today's day and age in which we live, it is so easy to have your mind in a bad spot. It's so easy when we turn the news on, there's always something else to be sad about. There's always something else to depress us. There's always something else to draw our attention and our focus off of God and the things of God. And if we're not careful, if we don't guard our mind and guard our thoughts, then we'll find ourselves in a dark place. And Christians, we should be very happy. We should be very happy every day. But it's just not always possible in this wicked world in which we live. So our first thought on our focus, on our mind, our first thought on thoughts, if you will, is just that. Where is your mind? Because in the Bible we find a couple of different places, a lot of different times where our Bible talks about our mind and our thoughts. And in fact, in Proverbs 23 and verse 7, part of that verse says, as he thinketh in his heart, so is he. As a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. So if your mind is in a bad spot, if your mind is always down and you're not focusing on the right things, and your thoughts are always going to the negative, you will be a negative person. If you can't keep your mind on the things of God, if you keep your mind always on the things of the world, always on the things that draw you away from God and his happiness and his joy, in fact, that's where you'll find yourself. As a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. And then in Luke 6:45, we find these words, for the abundance of the heart, his mouth speaketh. So if your mind and if your focus is always, if you're always on negative things, then you're always going to be saying negative things. And who likes to be around those people? How many of you know someone that is always negative? No matter what you say, no matter what you do, no matter how you try to brighten their day, they're just like droopy dog, and they're always so sad. And everything is always so bad. And I know people like that. And I'm ashamed to say that there have been days in my life when I have been that person. When my mind is always on these negative things, my mind always goes to the negative place, my mind always goes to the sadness, to the heartache, to the bad things of this world, then, almost by a default setting, I will become a depressive person, an angry person, and when I open my mouth and speak, it's never good. It's never godly. It's never singing the praises of my Savior. So that's the first thought on your focus, on your mind today. Where is your mind? Where is your focus? But the second thought on thoughts on Tuesday would be this. How do we get from a down, depressed, bad focus where we're always focusing on the negative, we never look at the positive, how do we get somewhere else where we need to be? Well, in Psalms chapter 139, 23 through 24, we find this. We find the psalmist saying, search me, O God, and know my heart. Try me and know my thoughts. And see if there be any wicked way in me, and lead me in the way everlasting. Search me, O God, and know my heart, and try me, and know my thoughts. This past Sunday when we were preaching, we were talking about opening up and praying for the presence of God in our lives. And a good way to get your mind right is to have good fellowship with the right kind of people. But all of that starts with your fellowship and your daily walk with God. Do we get down on our knees in the morning first thing and say, God, know me, know my heart, know my thoughts, guide me throughout the day. Let me not be focused always on the negative things of this world, but God, let me look on your things, on the good things. In Philippians 4 and verse 8, Philippians 4:8, which is a familiar passage, that says, finally, brethren, whatsoever things are true, whatsoever things are honest, whatsoever things are just, whatsoever things are pure, whatsoever things are lovely, whatsoever things are of good report, and if there be any virtue, and if there be any praise, think on these things. You'll find when our focus gets to the negative of this world, if we just turn around and we point ourselves and we focus back towards the cross, towards Calvary, and we think of all that God has done for us, all the blessings that God has already bestowed upon us. Just this day alone, you woke up, and that's a blessing from God. Everything that happened in your life after that, every good thing that came, well, every good and every perfect gift comes down from the Father of lights, which is in heaven, which is no variableness nor shadow of turning. Every good and every perfect gift comes from him. So let's focus on these things, whatsoever things are true and honest and just. Look at those things. Focus on those things. When we focus on those things, then our thoughts become more positive. I always think of individuals that are going through hard times and they're going through trials. And there may be some of you right now watching, they're going through trials. And I have found that when individuals are going through a trying time in their life, if all they focus on is the trial, then they're always down and depressed. But when those individuals focus on God and the things of God and the blessings that God gives us, in spite of the trial, you could still find a blessing if you look for it. If you focus on those things, then their countenance is raised and they're happy. And in the middle of a valley, in the middle of the hardest times in their life, we find them praising God. And that's what we should all strive to do. I love you, Faith Gospel, and I hope that you have a wonderful day. Enjoy this beautiful weather outside that we're having. Thank God for the sunshine after a long, dreary winter and floods and snow and ice storms. But now God has blessed us with a beautiful day that we can go out and enjoy. And if you don't have a church home, I would encourage you to come out to Faith Gospel. We're having a wonderful time. We've baptized 4 people in the last 2 weeks. And thank God for that. The baptismal waters have been stirred. We've seen folks saved and folks following the Lord in baptism. We're so thankful for that. It's an exciting time at our church. We'd love for you to be a part of it if you don't have a church home. Tomorrow evening, Wednesday evening at 6:30, we will have our Wednesday night Bible study where we're going through basic Bible beliefs. We're diving into doctrine. And trust me, that's not boring like you may think. It is a wonderful journey that we're going to take together. So please come out tomorrow at 6:30 if you would like, if you don't have a church home. And then Sunday at 10:30, Sunday morning, we're having service at 10:30 a.m. And Sunday night at 6 p.m. we're having service. We'd love to see you there. Thank you so much. You have a great day, and we love you. Goodbye.